Episode 5 of X-Men 97 had no reason being that good and no right to rip out my heart the way that it did. So many spoilers, man, I can't hold back. I apologize in advance because y'all finna get my feelings raw and all over the place. Starting with the mess. My girl Emma is innocent. She ain't done nothing wrong. Sitting pretty, leaning back, not minding her own business. Psychically watching this Jean Scott Madeline drama played out like she's watching an episode of Love and Hip Hop. This is what that situation looked like in the comic books, but for the cartoon, she said, "My name is Bennett and this time I ain't in it." If she did not survive the attack on Genosha, I'm letting y'all know right now, I will not be well. Now, in the comics, the massacre that we just saw is when Emma develops her secondary mutation, which is her diamond form, and that makes her practically indestructible. But they doing things different from the comics and the show, so I don't know. I don't know. Speaking of the whole Jean Scott Maddie Love triangle, I don't blame Scott or Jean fan. They were both wrong. And Scott kind of ain't shit in the comics, we know, but here, that man just lost his son. He's connected to the only other person that understands that trauma. And we see that him and Jean still aren't talking. Meanwhile, Jean has no idea what's real and what isn't. Her mind's been assaulted. She don't know what to trust. Her body's been violated. And her husband didn't even notice. All she did was kiss Logan. She better than me because I would've. Let me just go run out and have a baby then, Scott. And real quick, Trish Tilby, that reporter that was interviewing Scott, you raggedy bitch. It's the way she was trying to strip that man of his humanity while he described the discrimination that he faced daily as a mutant and exposed his newborn son's government information to the entire world while his people were being slaughtered. Cyclops was right. That man did not stutter once. I'd have cussed her out and knocked over a camera before I left. Genosha was very much giving Krakoa, Genkoa, if you will. And we love to see it. We love to see mutants happy and dancing and thriving. We saw actual cameos from mutants and not just Morph playing dress up to flirt with Wolverine. And right when it's getting juicy, right when we get peak Magneto mess and Rogue snapping his little heart. Real quick, she messy too. Why she had to do all that dancing and kissing up in the air in front of everybody? She played with both of their emotions. I see you, girl. But then a whole massacre just like that? Yes, a lot of us are familiar with Genosha in the comics, but we've never seen it played out like this before, and it was just so abrupt. Life was happening, a celebration of life. It was a gala. It is scary how much that mirrors real life because as we know, times are crazy, and we're not safe in nightclubs, concerts, schools, churches, even in our own homes, depending on what you look like. And that parallel was very intentional on the part of the X-Men 97 creators. Life can just end, and that was a lot to sit with this episode. Gambit didn't even know that Rogue turned Magneto down. He was cool just falling back and just being friends because he respected her. He was a good man. Thank you, I guess, for sending him off in one of the dopest moments I think I've ever seen in animation, but Lord Jesus, why? And the first time that Rogue gets to touch and feel him, she can't. Father God, why? Maybe Magneto survived. Maybe Leech was involved. I don't know. The streets is talking. This is only episode 5 and we have 10 this season. We got a former showrunner on Twitter talking about episodes 8 through 10 are his big one. Bigger than this. And Lenore Zan, the original and current voice for Rogue, said it ain't over till it's over. Lenore, respectfully, don't you play with my emotions, girl. As I've mentioned a couple times, Genosha and that whole massacre, it does happen in the comics. It is a very significant loss for mutants that is never retconned or fixed. But again, the show is different. We all saw Cable, the baby from the other episodes. We saw him drop in from the future and try to warn Madeline before everything got started. So join us tomorrow morning for the watch party. The link to the Discord is in my bio. That's going to be so much trauma for a Saturday morning.